What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to vinyl wrap a two-piece door handle using TeckWrap SCM11 Super Matte Bayside. This is the color right here. This is the door handle that we're going to be wrapping. We're going to need a few things to wrap this door handle. This door handle is two pieces, as you can see. We're going to be wrapping this off of the vehicle. Makes a lot more sense. This way we can wrap around the edges cleanly, tightly, make sure it's going to last. We're going to need a door handle. We're going to need a knife. We're going to need some isopropyl alcohol, a clean cloth, masking tape, and a heat gun. That's about it. Plus our vinyl, we're good to go. What we're going to do first is mask off the, this is a little trick, but we're going to mask off the ends of these door handles. This way we don't have to remove the grease. Let's move things out of the way. We're going to keep our heat gun nearby because that is the next tool that we will need. We're going to size up a piece to our door handle. So the super matte film comes with a protective cap that needs to be removed prior to installation. That's it right there. I'm going to cut generally the size of piece that I want to use, and then we're going to trim it down a little bit further, most likely. It's a good idea to check to make sure that your piece of vinyl is wide enough. Yep, perfect. We're going to remove the protective cap, and this is the true color of the super matte. We're going to hook the vinyl in on the front end and stretch it to the back end. If you have two hands or an extra set of hands, it does help, but you don't need it. We can turn this off. What we're noticing here is that the wrap is wrapping around the handle, okay? Now, is this good? Is this bad? What is going on here? It's good. We want the vinyl to wrap around the handle, and what I'm doing now is I'm going to be pulling the wrinkles that I caused from stretching across the handle to the sides. It's important here to not stretch too far past this edge. If we stretch too far past this edge, what's going to happen is the vinyl can pull back and it can fail. We don't want that to happen. We're going to come across all of this and make sure we've removed the air from the film. It has a great air release, works very well. Over here, watch what happens when I heat this section. The vinyl is going to drop around the handle. Perfect. I don't even have to do much. It just wrapped itself. All I'm going to do now is guide the film. Now, I wanted to use that as a demonstration to show you, but what you should be doing is you should be holding the film over heat and then guiding the film into the area where you want it to be. So for example, down here, I could have avoided that one wrinkle right there if I had used my other hand to make sure I was guiding the film into position. I wasn't using my hands. I was, using the heat gun with my hands, and it would have helped to actually have left the heat gun over here and waved the door handle over top of the heat gun. That would have helped because I would have been able to have one hand on here and one hand not worried about working on the heat gun. We're going to take this now, and this has little ridges or indentations where the sensor is, okay? So we're going to take this, we're going to pull that downwards sort of along that edge right there. We want to make sure that this edge stays nice and rounded. It's important because we don't want to have tension on that edge. Let's move this back a little bit. We're going to be laying the vinyl in using our squeegee. Simple, okay? Let's go to the next one. We're going to lay the vinyl in using our squeegee. It's going to really define these areas, guys. It's going to make them look great. We have one more, I think, right there. Maybe I missed one. Let's see. Oh, I did miss one, so there are 4. It's very tight. Got to make sure we get them all. Great. Let's go down to the next one. Lift it back a little bit. Make sure we're laying the vinyl in. This is the only way the vinyl is going to last. Any vinyl in the world will not stay while stretched into these areas. So we want to lay the vinyl into these areas, and I believe that was the last one. Perfect. So that is all 4 of them. Amazing. Got a little junk on it from my squeegee. That's okay. That's going to come off. Not worried about it. Let's move around to the other side. We can now remove our tape that was holding the handle to the table. And let's check out this side. This side will be a little bit easier since we don't have those indentations where the thumbprint sensor goes. So here it's just simple, take it. I'm gonna use my thumb to massage the film around the handle, right here as well. And then on the top end over here at the very front of the handle, we're gonna take it, we're gonna heat it, look at that, just drops right down. I don't have to worry about anything happening to this door handle because it's never gonna fail. Even if this didn't even have glue on it, it wouldn't fail because the way that the film has been stretched across the handle makes it possible to just have the film wrap around the handle. And that's a huge trick to wrapping in general, but this will help tremendously with any film and it'll have your door handle last. Like, look at this, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now, we don't have to wrap all the way into here. This is a separate piece. This piece is a separate piece of black plastic that's somewhat part of the door handle sensor or just an insert that's put in there. We don't wrap to there. We wrap only to the painted area, which is like right about there, and that's it. What I'm going to do now is take my knife and trim some of the film out of this area here. So we're going to take our knife, we're going to poke through and not trim too much away, just a bit. Same thing here, trim it off. And come around. Good. Now we're gonna take our vinyl and we're going to massage it down and around the inside of the handle. We're gonna add a bit of heat to do that. So I like to leave the heat gun running right over there. We're gonna take it, flip it, right around on the inside. We're gonna work the deeper indentations first. It's very important to do that. I have a little bit of air right there. Let's get that out. Oops, did you get it? There we go. Let's do the other deeper indentation right here. Again, a little bit of air right there, so we're gonna get that out. Just push on it, it goes away. So same thing right here, push and wrap around into those deeper indentations. Now the tucking tool is nice because it will allow you to define this line right there. This is the line we're going to be cutting on. So I'm gonna take my tucking tool and define this line as the best that I can. Very close, almost messed up this cut, so super close, but we made it. We're going to take our knife and make sure it's very sharp, and we're going to cut in this little tiny slot. And the sharper the knife, the easier this cut is. I need to see, so I'm going to be moving this a little bit as I come along. It's important to make sure you can see and have good visibility. Let's go across the rest of the way here. Let's remove that up to about there. That's fine. Let's come from here now and go along the rest of the way. I'm looking to see where this line runs. If the line tends to disappear sometimes, what we can do is we can go over again with our tucking tool and define the line all over again. It's very important to be able to see this area. Otherwise, we're cutting without knowing, and that's going to cause a problem because we might cut the paint or we might, and on top of that, we're gonna miss the area that we want to wrap. Great. It's looking good so far. Let's remove this. Let's keep going along. Let's do the other side as far as this goes. Again, what I'm going to do is we're going to cut some of this away, just like that, and more over here. I'm going to turn the heat gun back on, and we're going to heat up that corner all over again. And again, feed the film in. This one's a little bit easier on this side. You can see the edge of this insert or plastic piece is right there. So I don't have to wrap in very far all on this side. I've got one wrinkle right there. It's going to be super easy to get out. We're just going to pull that film back, take our thumb, our finger, and massage that back down and around. Done. Easy. Okay, I can turn this off again. We're going to take our knife, same thing, cut inside here. So in case that last angle wasn't very good, this one's a little bit easier for me to see, so it makes the cut a lot easier. And then let's go back over here. Take your time. sometimes the gap gets a little tighter in certain areas. You know, you want to make sure that you're taking your time and doing the best that you can. If you rush it, you'll make a mistake. What we're going to do now is finish up the rest of it. So let's take our knife and trim. There's a little rubber seal in here. So let's actually just heat it first on the ends and make sure that we have the film wrapped tightly and neatly all the way around the end of the handle. I want to make sure that I'm avoiding any wrinkles like there, right there, that might come at the very end or the nose of the handle. We'll massage those around. A little bit of heat and a little bit of pressure usually gets them to go around the opposite side. I have too much vinyl here, so it's sticking to itself. It's okay, I'm not so overly concerned about it. And I just noticed I have one tiny little air bubble right there, so we're gonna pull that vinyl back, we're gonna massage that air out, and then we're gonna wave our door handle over our magic wand, which is our heat gun, and that will be that. That air bubble is gone, the film shrunk back to normal, we're good to go. So we're gonna make sure we're massaging that film down really nicely around the end of that handle. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys, just you wanna make sure that we're around the handle, this way we don't have any air bubbles or any exposed paint. Cool, let's get in here now. Right in here, there is a rubber seal between the handle. So we're gonna do the cut between here and the rubber seal. Be careful when you're doing this. You're holding the handle and you're cutting, so it's risky when it comes to that part because you could slip. So really take your time, brace yourself, and make sure that you're not able to slip or slide out with your knife because you don't want that to happen. Great, that's that part. There's a final step here that we're gonna have to do at the very end, but that's okay, we're gonna go on. What we're gonna do now is instead of cutting on the handle, I'm gonna show you how to do this section here. So what I like to do is, the back side of the handle has a little hole in it, that's okay. I mean, there's some back sides of door handles that are not really the most perfect looking door handles. Can you put a cutting tape in here? Yeah, you could probably do that. It may not work out all that well. So what I like to do is I like to run my knife, just like this, along the edge without cutting on the paint. I'm gonna come around, just like this. Oops, start here. Let's work our way back. Let's come across this area now, keeping a little tension on the film. We're going to be putting a piece on the back side of this handle, just so you're aware. And a little tension on the film helps keep the line straighter and more clean. If you don't wrap this area, I don't think that it's a good idea to leave the back side of the handle unwrapped. It's just lazy, we're already here. So we might as well put a piece of vinyl over top of the back side. Now my knife has not touched any part of the paint as far as this goes. We're going to cut another very small piece and we're going to put that small piece on the back side of the handle. We're going to peel this off. Oops, it's a little static. Peel that off and we're going to put this piece on the back side of the handle. Watch this. Simple. Great, now I can cut the vinyl on the vinyl if I want to, because I don't have to worry about cutting through it as much as maybe potentially hurting the paints and cutting into the paint. So now we're not worried about cutting into the paint because we have vinyl protecting the actual door handle or the paint. Cut here. Again, make sure you know exactly where your wrap is. A nice sharp knife goes a long way. Great. I have a little bit of excess vinyl right up top here, so we're going to trim that away. Now, you might ask, why am I doing the back piece last as opposed to doing it first? It's not a bad idea to use the back piece to hold the actual wrap in place. It does make a difference. So it's going to hold the main piece in place, which is the piece we worked harder on than the back piece here. The back piece here is very easy to do, right? We don't have to worry about much. Let's finish off this cut. And I'm just making sure that I'm covered. Let's take that out of the way. And then let's cut along, right along the bottom. And this tiny spot, I just stretched the vinyl over slightly. Let's cut right along the bottom, and done. Let's come across here, and done. This should remove, and we should be done as far as that goes. You can cut this area out if you'd like to. I don't really see the purpose of doing that because it's just in order to separate the plastic of the handle. It actually looks a little bit nicer now that it's covered. Let's start trimming the underside on this side. Again, we're cutting in free space. We should not really be cutting on the paint. And just come across here. Oh, that didn't work. I didn't get the cut that I wanted to. There we go. Now you might be asking also, why did I wrap the handle the way I wrapped the handle? Well, we started the handle at the nose of the handle. So we started wrapping at the nose of the handle, which means at this front section here. What we need to do now is we need to go over everything with heats and make sure all our edges are secure and final, and they're not going to move. So we don't want them to move at all. Let's go over the end of it. Normally, a lot of door handles will fail at the front of the handle, right about there. We don't want that to happen. So we start from the front, tension free, and then we work our way to the back. Amazing. We're going to go over some of this with some heat, some of it in here. This is the underside of the handle that nobody will ever see. Can you do it a little bit nicer than that? Sure, if you want to. Does it have to be much nicer than that? No one will ever see this area here. They're more likely to see this area right here where I'm tucking some of the film in to the recess. Right between the two plastics. That's it. That piece is all finished up. We have one more piece to do, which is smaller. It's basically this section only, and we don't have the rest to do. You can see it's very, very much the same as far as the aesthetic goes and as far as the looks go. Let's now wipe this down and wrap that small little piece. Just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on that. Great. Now, out of curiosity, some of you might be asking, again, why did I do this piece last? Again, it was to hold the main piece down, just in case. You know, it's more of a just in case kind of thing. But we'll do that piece first this time. So how do we do that? Well, we're just going to take our vinyl again. We're going to cut a piece, and we're going to wrap the back side first. Again, remove the protective cap. Take our vinyl, place it right there on the back side. Amazing. And then we're going to cut, watch, like this, along the inside edge, just like this. I'm going to poke through, and my blade is not going to touch the paint. Oops, slid out. It's a little bit tricky to do this and hold it in front of the camera, and I'm not used to this. It takes a bit of practice. But I wanted to try and give you the best possible perspective and view of what's happening here. Let's just rip that off. It's bothering me that there's just that part connected there. Let's take it from here. Again, I'm going to poke through right there without poking myself. That's an important thing to note. And come around. Perfect. So we've gotten that already done on that side. I can actually just tear that off. It's something, tearing it off is something that, you know, if you have control over, you can do. If you feel like you don't have control, then don't do it. Good. You can tear that off also. I'm going to trim again across the bottom, same as the other door handle. And again, this time we're just doing it in reverse, just to show you. What you do on one side, you should be doing the same on the other side. So it's important to note that, you know, doing this differently on each part of the door handle, it's more or less incorrect. So choose which way you want to do it and then do it that way. That's all I suggest. Let's do this. Let's wrap over top of this small piece here. It's going to be very similar. We're going to take a piece generally the same width, but not quite as long. About that big. I'm just making an approximation here as far as the guess goes. And then we're going to heat and stretch. We're going to turn the heat gun on and wave our vinyl over top. We're going to just stretch that out a little bit, maybe a little bit more heat. And we're going to start from the front and work our way to the back. Does this work perfectly every time? Maybe not. So it might take you more than one try to do this. Should be fine as far as this goes. Now before adding any more heat, I'm going to just stretch this cold or while it's cooling down. I'm going to take it from over here. Again, bring it over in this direction towards, I suppose, the back side of the handle. I guess that's what you would call that area there, that back side there. And then now we should be more or less ready to heat up the edges. So let's check them. And it's important to check your edges, because if you don't check your edges to make sure that there's no tension on them, your vinyl will pull back. And that's common, again, with any vinyl. We don't want our vinyl to pull back. We want our vinyl to last. Tension on the edges of the vinyl is not a good thing. So wrapping the right way is a good thing. And you need to know how to do that so you can have a nice, long lasting, durable finish. Now let's take that, let's push down a little bit here. Let's fix up the extra material that's kind of getting stuck to itself. What we can do is we can always trim some off. So we can trim this off. We can trim that off also the rest of the way around. This way it's not sticking to itself so much. And I'm just trying to hold it to give you guys a better perspective and show you. Yep. It's just hard to do holding the whole thing and showing you in front of the camera. Anyways, that's it. Okay, so now we have a lot less vinyl here. Let's heat up the back side, make sure again there's no wrinkles. And then what we can do here is we can cut the vinyl on the vinyl like we did with the other door handle. So we're going to make sure that this is wrapped around slightly. We're going to push that down, make sure we're good and down around the back side. We have some wrinkles, but that's okay. I haven't stretched the film. All I've done is massage the film around, and it makes sense to get wrinkles here because as we massage the film around, what's going to happen is we're going to end up bunching up the vinyl. It's just too much vinyl. Let's go here, let's go there, and very close to my inlay, or the top edge, sorry. Let's go down. Perfect. That's what that looks like now, with the seam on the back side. Now, is anyone going to see this seam? No. You're not going to see this part of the door handle. It's very rare that you'll see this part of the door handle. You'd have to look at that area directly to see that area as you open the door. When is that going to happen? Who looks behind their door handle like that? I mean, maybe people do, but you never know. We're going to take this, we're going to trim off the underside now. And again, no knife on the paint. I'm just using the back side of my knife to trim out the extra film. If I don't get all of the vinyl, we can take our heat gun and trim off the massage some of the extra film around. So same thing here. Let's go again on the opposite side. There we go. Got stuck on our little rubber seal that's there. And the last little bit right there. Perfect. Go over this with heat. So we're going to go over the underside edge, all with heat. We're going to make sure that it's nice and secure and snug around that underside edge. And then what I'll do is I'll pop this on the car to show you what it looks like. But you can see that the end result looks really, really nice. It's super clean, it's neat, it's tidy. There's no wrinkles or anything showing from the exterior side, right? These two pieces will fit together just like that.